Good morning, pharmacy. It's the beginning of a new sequence. We're on sequence 1. Every sequence, we have about 2 classes, except for once you get to sequence 2, the first 3 weeks is only 1 class, which is pharmacy tech duties. But the other sequences, it's going to be 2 classes, okay? So for this first 3 weeks, we have PHA 200, which is your pharmacology, and PHA 115, which is your pharmacy math, okay? 2 classes. You'll think, oh, it's just 2 classes compared to the college or the university, but it's only 3 weeks, okay? 3 weeks. So this is gonna be crunched. The usual 1 semester I teach at CSN is gonna be for 3 weeks. Pressure on you, pressure on your instructors too. Tell me about it, okay? But luckily, I've been teaching for 10 years at PIMA, 11 at CSN, and I've gotten used to how the schedule is, how the cycle is, and my lesson plans have been proven to be very effective and stable and strong. However, when COVID came, everybody scrambled, okay? Luckily, your teacher didn't scramble too much. Why? Because I have recordings of my lectures. There's a story to that. I didn't know that the pandemic was happening. Don't think that I'm behind the scenes of the pandemic. I'm not, okay? I just have OCD and I just prepare always for what can possibly happen. But the real reason why I have all of these recordings is not because I knew that the pandemic was happening. I used to be a night instructor at PIMA, okay, because I teach at CSN, I lecture at UNLV, and my mornings are at the state college, okay? So I'm a night instructor. I was a night instructor for 5.5 years. And then my partner instructor, who was a program director at that time, Mr. Fever, fell really ill, okay? And I had to teach both morning and night, okay? Luckily, when it happened, it was summertime. So my son's off school, things like that. And I think he hasn't started school, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it's been 5 years ago. And there was a point wherein I lost my voice. Kaput. Why? I'm at the campus at 7, opening the campus and leaving the campus at 10 p.m. every day to teach the morning. I go home for an hour and a half to check on my son, and then I'd come back. So everybody teases me that, do you have a quarter here? Because when I used to work in the hospital, you know, doctors have quarters, especially if they work graveyard 24/7, 24 hours in the hospital. So they tease me because I'm there in the morning until closing. Okay, so one day I lost my voice. I didn't know how important my voice was until I lost it. And I was so worried because I had to teach both morning and night. So I was teaching husky, really husky, like Tina Turner. And it was hard until it was gone. I pushed it and pushed it and pushed it until it was no more. So I said, the next sequence, I'm gonna be recording my lectures, okay? Next sequence, I'm gonna be recording my lectures. And those are not formal professional production. They were shot from my phone. A student set up my phone in one of the corners. I had a little tripod and I recorded the lectures. Okay, I have freshmen here. Oh, sophomores now, Elizabeth and Christine. Okay, James, you're the only one. I wish Joe is here and David is here, and I can't remember who's the other freshman who's supposed to come. Because you will see the blackboard and you will see a lot of stuff in there, a lot of references in there. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. There's a reason why they're there. But Mr. Jackson is a really good instructor. He's very animated, very interactive, but 90% of the instructors are not prepared for this, okay? I was one of those who are lucky to have such references, okay? I also have a mobile app that's on Google, Amazon, Google, and Amazon, which helps students pass their board exam. To this day, we still have 100% pass rate on the board exam. All of the things I created, I put in that. Apple has been giving us a hard time. It's been a year now, and Apple still hasn't approved it. They want their own. So we're gonna try again because I'm gonna use a different platform. But anyway, I actually was awarded Master Teacher of 2020 by Elsevier, a big publishing company for medical books, and ABHAS, which is a big accrediting body. And one of the things that they focused or give credit to was that mobile app, okay? They said, because they wanted an instructor to be not just a regular instructor, something with fireworks, who does more than what they're supposed to do. And they thought that an instructor having her own mobile app, giving it to the students, having everything, instructor in a pocket, all the lectures are in there, flashcards, practice tests are in there, was awesome. But when I did it, I didn't think it was really awesome. I partnered with a graduate and we worked on it together, because there was one graduate who told me, when she was finishing up, I wish I could carry you with me in my pocket, Miss L, and take you anywhere I go. So that was the inspiration to that. So instead of me having the book in ebook format, the audio lecture, and that, I just put it in one, a mobile app, which I'm trying to keep up with the changing times, trying to adapt to you guys, how you're studying. Like Ms. L's old school. I'm an old school pharmacist. That's why my degree still says Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy, okay? The newer pharmacists got a PharmD degree, even if they graduated with less than schooling. So I graduated prior the PharmD was actually in place. PharmD started in 2001. I graduated 1998. So I've been a pharmacist about 22 years now. Oh my God. I've seen it all. I've worked in retail, I've worked in hospital, and I've worked with the big boys. I've worked with Johnson & Johnson, I've worked with Sanofi, I've worked with Glaxo, I've worked with Aventis, I've worked with the makers of your IV bags, Becton and Dickinson, the makers of needles. I've worked with Tyco, so these big companies. You can tell that the vast, my experience is mainly the manufacturer side, okay, the big boys. That's where the money is. So I transitioned from hospital to that, but you'll hear more about my stories. I wish we were in the classroom because I have more time to talk about it, and students get inspired. I have a good number of students who are pharmacists now because of my stories. I have a good number of students who are pharmaceutical reps now because of my stories. I have, because I've done certain things. I have a good number of students who are working in the hospital because I have a long stint in the hospital too, okay? I have very little stint in retail. That's why I love having Miss J, because she has a long stint in retail, okay? But she also has a long stint in the hospital and in the compounding setting. But the vast experience that Miss L has is with these big boys. That's why you will see sometimes I'm very masculine. Why? That industry is dominated by men. And if we're in the classroom, you will see me wear my high heels all the time, and you'll know when I'm coming. Okay, it's because that industry was dominated by men, and Miss L has to be that powerful, or has to have that confidence to be able to make it. Okay, so anyway, so much of my experiences and my stories. I'd like to walk you through, I wish the freshmen are here, I would like to walk you through Blackboard because these are 2 new classes, okay? And I'd like to ask the previous students, of course, to give you their 2 cents worth on how you're gonna adapt and survive the program, especially during this time, okay?